Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. So I'm going to be giving my updated prediction for the 2020 Senate election. If you've not seen my first video covering the Senate election, I will link it in the description below. So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Any video ideas that you'd like to see in the future or what you think the results of the 2020 Senate election will be, I love to have discussions over it. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it. And I'm going to talk about the states that I think are going to be likely for the Republican Party first, and that is Texas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Kentucky. Now, all of these states have a variety of polling numbers being shown, but the majority of the polls coming out of all these states show the Republican with a sizable lead, or they have a history of being strong for the Republican Party. So I think the fact that Trump is on the ballot and either polling strongly or the Senate candidate is polling strongly in these states does provide strength to the argument that Republicans will carry these states pretty comfortably in 2020. The next states that I want to talk about are the ones I think are lean Republican. So that is states like Kansas and Georgia with both of their elections. Now, previously I had said that I think that Georgia's main election, not their special election, was solid to go to the Republican Party, but that has since shifted. Jon Ossoff has seen strong polling numbers since I first filmed my video. Same with Kansas. I said that if Kris did win the GOP nomination, then Kansas would really come into play, and he has. And as we've seen, polling out of Kansas has been within the margin of error for either party. So I think that both of these races are going to be extremely competitive in 2020 and really could go either way. So now I'm going to flip over to the Democratic Party, and I'm going to talk about Michigan, which I think is likely for the Democratic Party. If you look at polling, Gary Peters versus John James, Peters has a strong lead, close to double digits in literally every single poll that has come out, and there's been a lot of polling done in the state of Michigan. Additionally, Biden is really strong in Michigan, and I just think that Gary Peters, being the Democratic incumbent, is going to perform pretty well when paired with Biden's lead in the state. Next, I want to move over to Colorado, which is another state that I'm going to put as likely for the Democratic Party. When you look at John Hickenlooper's lead over Cory Gardner, it has actually been diminishing over time, but is still well within double digits. And when you look at Joe Biden's lead over Trump, Democrats are doing extremely strong in the state. And just because Hickenlooper may be weak right now in the state does not mean that the whole entire state is going to flip when he has such a large 11-point lead, even in the latest poll, which is the weakest he's ever been. Colorado, I think, is very likely to go to the Democratic Party. The next state that I want to talk about are some of the more competitive states. So Arizona and North Carolina. I think that both of these states are actually lean for the Democratic Party. Now, I actually had North Carolina as a Republican in my last video, but since then we've seen strong polling coming out of the state. If you look at Thom Tillis versus Cunningham, Cunningham actually has now close to a 10-point lead in the two latest polls that have come out. So I definitely think that he is going to be strong in North Carolina. I've given the edge to the Democrats as of right now. Same with Mark Kelly over Martha McSally. He's been doing extremely well. He is weak right now, but Democrats are weak in the state of Arizona in polling right now, and I don't think that's going to persist. And I think that Mark Kelly is an extremely strong candidate. Martha McSally is not a very well-liked figure, statewide or not nationwide, and I don't think that she's going to be able to be a candidate like Mark Kelly. So I do see this one as lean towards the Democratic Party. Now, the last three states that I have, I think are going to be the most competitive on election night, and that is Montana, Iowa, and Maine. So Montana, I'm going to put in the tilt Republican column. I actually had this one as a tilt Democrat in my last video over the Senate. However, since then we have seen polling come out that has weakened Steve Bullock's lead over Steve Daines, and he still has a lead. We've seen, a 7-point lead, then a 4-point lead, then a 2-point lead, and so it is diminishing, but there still is that lead, a consistent one in 3 polls in a row. However, in a state like Montana, just like in a state like Kansas, where Donald Trump is likely to win by 20 to 30 points, a 2-point lead or a 1-point lead in Kansas's case, I really don't think that's enough to carry them over the finish line. As of right now, we'll see what happens. Steve Bullock is a very well-liked figure in Montana. Anything can happen, and I do think this race will be very competitive. Some pollsters have it rated as a toss-up, but I have it listed as a tilt Republican. And Iowa and Maine, I'm actually going to both put as a tilt Democrat. So Sara Gideon in Maine is looking strong over Susan Collins, who is now one of the most unapproved of senators in the United States. If we go and look at polling data out of Maine, Gideon in the latest poll has a 4-point lead. And in most polls that have been done, she actually does have the lead. So I do think that Maine will be competitive, but Gideon is a really strong candidate, and I think that she will edge out the win in that. Additionally, in Iowa, Greenfield has been leading in every single poll that has come out of the state. You would have to go all the way back to early May if you want to see Ernst even with a lead. There have been very strong pollsters that have come out showing Greenfield in the lead. I do think that she has the edge in a state like Iowa, where, you know, she's been ahead in now 4 polls in a row, 1 A+ rated pollster. So this is my prediction for the 2020 Senate election map as of July 13th. It has Democrats at 51 and Republicans at 49. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much.